Follow me. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
President
Buck,
Here.
Director Gunn,
I'm sorry.
Director Gunn,
Here.
Director Clayton,
Here.
Director Rodriguez.
Here.
Okay, moving along. First thing we have to do is get to a little housekeeping. We've got the organizational meeting of the board of directors officers pursuant to Article 1, Section 5 of the official administrative code of the district. Basically, what we got to do is we got to assign officers. I'm going to make a suggestion that I remain president, we make Vice President Guy, secretary would be Michael Clayton, and the vice secretary would be Marvin Mark. So that would be my thing, and this is about leader for him. I will make that motion.
I'll second.
What's the second?
No.
All those in favor? Is this a roll call? That's an attorney question.
I don't believe so.
Okay, all right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, carried. Okay, the next thing we've got would be the appointment of members to committees and assignments to liaison positions. Mike, what I want to do is on the executive committee will be myself and Tony Guy. The administration and finance would be myself and Tony Guy. Safety and security would be myself and Michael Clayton. The real estate would be myself and Tony Guy. Airport planning and capital improvement would be Michael Clayton and Tony Guy. Government affairs would be Michael Clayton and Tony Guy. Marketing and promotion would be Michael Clayton and Tony Guy. General aviation would be myself and Michael Clayton. Okay, you get all those? Okay, moving right along, we'll go to committee reports.
Mr. President, your executive committee met on July 1st for agenda setting for this meeting, and your real estate committee met on the 6th.
Okay. Move right along to the general manager's report.
I really have just in my report, I just wanted to mention that yourself and Director Guy and myself attended the Econ Alliance CEO reception last night, and where the community had an opportunity to meet the new CEO for Econ Alliance, a gentleman by the name of Nash Marino, former president of this board. So he continues to serve the community. And Marvin was there as well.
I did with my 2 eye.
Both of them?
Yeah.
I forgot you're actually on that board, so
Yeah.
that's all I have.
And let's go on to the manager of finance and administration report.
Yeah, so tonight I have the pleasure of presenting to you the demand register for half of June and the beginning of July.
I jumped something here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I jumped the minutes of the regular meeting on June 25th, 2026. Okay, sorry about that.
So I reviewed the minutes and I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
I like to, I wasn't here, so I'm going to abstain from the vote. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now I'm caught up, sorry. Okay, now, back to my.
Yeah, so we have the demand register for June and July disbursements. And I'm available if there are any questions.
I've reviewed the demand register. And I have one question for you.
We should get motions first.
Okay.
Right.
We can have the discussion after this.
Yeah, we'll get the motions and then you have, I'll call for questions, then you ask questions.
Okay.
So.
I move that we accept the demand register as presented
With the question.
with the question following.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay, we got first and second. Questions? No.
Yes, I have a question. Relative to Mead and Hunt, I know we have a contract with them. How long is that contract?
So that contract would, currently, we are awaiting our approval process for it. It's a 1-year contract, so it would be for another week.
And this money is for this next year?
No, the money that is in the demand
Is it
register,
from last year?
correct, last fiscal year.
Okay, so will they be submitting a new contract or will the existing contract just be extended?
They will be submitting a new contract.
Okay, good, thank you. And
Yeah.
while I have that, I had one other question here relative to.
The water was
Yeah.
17,000.
It was relative to the water.
City of Santa Maria Utility Division, $17,000.
We know that Martin's working on it.
We did.
Well,
We're sinking wells, what are we doing?
No, we had a pretty bad water leak. I believe it was in the middle of the night. We have our operations manager here as well, but we did have a water leak, and so that billing cycle was just catching that water leak that happened, unfortunately.
Well, that's good that it's not like a monthly thing.
No.
Like,
How much
How
did
they
they
bill us
bill?
about
I would have to get back to you on that.
I was hearing about a leak out in the field out there somewhere, was that?
No, I believe it was over on this side of the airport, so it was somewhere along here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have a leak does anyone else have a leak over on that far end of the field, somewhere towards like other adjacent properties?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
In the farm field? Somewhere out there, yeah, I don't know if it's ours or, but I just kind of heard something, I don't remember when, but I was just curious.
And the water out there would be the city, wells,
Okay.
so they provide with our education,
It would be.
When they start them up.
It would be closer to ours.
they flush a significant amount of water where they put the water into their system.
Cool. That's all I had.
No.
No.
So the liability insurance workers comp SDRMA, how can we pay that?
Once a year. Yeah, that's why it's such an exorbitant amount.
that you're accruing for it once a month?
Correct.
Okay. I'm done with my questions.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Moving along to public session. Statements from the floor will be heard during public session. Request to speak form are provided for those wishing to address the board. After completing the forms, please give to the clerk. Requests requiring board action will be referred to staff and brought to the next part of the agenda. Members of the public are cordially invited to speak on the agenda items as they occur. Staff reports covering agenda items are available for review at the Office of General Manager on the Tuesday prior to each meeting. The board will establish a time limit for received testimony. The board reserves the right to establish further time limits for received testimony. I actually have 3 now. None of them are tied to anything done here. Do you guys want to speak now? Is that your pleasure? Okay, well, let's start with Alejandro.
Good afternoon, board, Senator Board. A little sick, but I'll get out of here.
So state your name.
My name is Alejandro Arredondo, President of Santa Maria and Vice President of Autocraft Paint. 2 weekends ago, we had a pretty awesome event, the Santa Maria, I believe you guys call it the main hangar, where Autocraft is currently located, along with Silver Patrol and a landscape company. And I just want to come out and tell you it was a very successful event, and I want to thank Marvin for being out there and attending and helping out families and really helping out the community. I want to give a huge thank to your staff. Without them, it wouldn't have been able to happen. And I know there was a little bit of bumps on the road, but I want to thank you guys so much just because of the outcome of what the community saw. Obviously it couldn't be possible without you guys. And honestly, this is probably one of the best events I think has ever happened. Because I saw a bunch of local pilots, old dusty pilots, that came out and gave tours to a bunch of youth. And hopefully the future aviators of Santa Maria. And I know, like I said, it was a little bit of a bumpy road to get to it. But I think I hopefully you guys, Martin was out there and saw the youth and saw all the energy out there. I don't know if we're gonna do it again. Obviously, if we are, we're gonna do it like book more time, more planning and all that. But once again, I just wanna thank the board and the staff for, just your support and having an amazing community event. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's go on to Kim.
In Huntington, tenant, also AOPA Airport School Network volunteer. I just would like to reiterate what Alex said. Want to thank Martin specifically, actually, for showing up to the event and helping get that event done. And Director Rodriguez for being there and helping escort. It was a huge success. I was also involved with the Young Eagles program that we did a special day of doing Young Eagles, and had the wind not come up, we probably would have done a whole lot more rides, but as it was, we did at least 15 to 20 rides for kids and had even more that wanted to go for rides. So it was a really big success. Staff did a great job in getting it done in short order, and it couldn't be more appreciated for how hard everybody worked for this and to make it such an event, to bring out so many people to the airport to see what else the airport can do. And the pilot community also turned out, a whole bunch of the airport tenants that we don't see very often, as well as a bunch of folks from other airports came out as well. So it was a huge success, and I'd just like to thank everybody on the staff for helping making this happen.
Thank you. Okay, Mike Brown, no relation.
We've already talked about it.
The other Michael Brown.
Well, I said my son's actually, his name is Mike Brown.
Must be a great guy. I just wanted to thank everybody in this room. I mean, having to take an army, started off with a stupid idea between me and my wife. I shouldn't say stupid, because the result I was pretty darn impressed with myself. It was great to see Martin out there. Marvin just came and jumped in. Hopefully next year we'll have all of you out there, because I think everybody enjoyed themselves. I just really want to bring the community to the airport. I know we've been here over 2.5 years or 2 years now, and we've had a blast getting to know this family out here and people, and learning more about the staff and the board members and the way things work around here. I think it's a beautiful facility that we can just turn into something amazing between everybody in this room and the rest of the people on both sides of the fence around here. Just a matter of getting everybody together. So I just wanted to say thank you for allowing us to do this. As far as I know, we are crazy enough to try it again. We can get all you guys on board to go with it. Hopefully things go a little smoother as far as the planning stated, and just the coordination of it. But to get together with everybody here, we did it, and it was awesome. I appreciate everyone. So I just want to thank you, and I can't thank Teresa and Alex enough for jumping in and bringing it to Artcraft and making it happen. So, like I said, I'd like to thank everybody here. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, we're gonna have a presentation by Tartaglia Engineering regarding the airport improvement program, the AIP projects, and consideration of resolution of number 973, approving and adopting of the AIP projects as presented.
President Brown, members of the board, John Smith, Tartaglia Engineering. Thank you for having me out here tonight. What you're gonna see is the current capital improvement program that has been submitted and approved by the FAA. Few nice projects on the program.
Hold on, give me 1 second, I'm just trying to.
The first project we're going to talk about tonight is the taxi rehabilitation. Primary work area you can see there. It's the northwest end of the main hangar complex. The red, blue, and green represent the 3 phases of the activity. Primary work is to remove and reconstruct localized failed pavement areas and construct and install some of the concrete aprons along the dirt line in many of the hangar buildings, and then apply a seal coat to the pavement and move on. We're very excited that this is going to happen. much of the scope of this is similar to what we did about 5 years ago, and then 4 or 5 buildings to the southeast. I did just spend some time with my new friend Kim a few minutes ago. And I assured her that at the start of construction, we will be having a pre-construction conference, all the tenants that will be invited. And be able to learn about the project, learn about the phasing and sequencing. And Kim had some great ideas, and I think we're gonna do what we can to entertain those and take them to heart during that meeting and see what we can do. Phasing is always a challenge. On airfield pavements, we try to accommodate to the best we can the tenants and users of the airfield while concurrently giving the contractor enough workspace to have a production project. And so here we go forward. This is an AIG funded grant project. It turned out, the bidding turned out actually very well. And not that one, not that one. Allison. How about a few men? Sure. Team effort, thank you. So, the bids did come in somewhat favorable, and we were able to, with our low bidder, go through a negotiation process for a slight expansion of scope. So we're going to address this area here, with the seal coat and pavement markings. I think you all know where this area is. The main hangar is straight up the page off the image. And so we're happy to get this area done as well. Okay. As we all know, we did a taxiway improvement project starting with the southeast end. It was a very successful project, Alpha 7, Alpha 8, and a couple of the other connectors. It's been our intention to continue that project moving along Alpha to the northwest. And you can see here, this is a continuation of that. What you see in this image is you see the proposed 3 phases of the project. Phase 1, which is the actual extension of what we just did. Phase 2 is the next one to be to the northwest, and then phase 3. We went out to bid. We have a low bidder. We don't have a contractor yet. We don't have a grant, but we're getting close. We do have funding for phase 1. Now, we're not done with our funding negotiations with the FAA. We're continuing that discussion probably up until the last minute. But right now, we do have funding for phase 1. We would love to get at least phase 2 thrown in, but all I can say is it's a very challenging year. It appears to be a challenging year to have negotiations with the FAA. So I think we're doing quite remarkably well. You're getting this is an AIP funded project as opposed to AIG, and it's putting the money where you have the most need.
Do you know how much that is gonna cost for phase 1 funding?
I'll chime in there.
Okay.
So we had it in the budget as part of the Airport Capital Improvement Program projects. But because the funding is, you like Mr. Johnson said, you don't know what the funding is gonna be with the federal government until they award it to you. And they're a little bit backwards because they want a contract first before they award the grant. So we have a pool of money budgeted. We won't know the exact amount just yet, and when we do know, we'll bring the grant for board approval at that point in time and dissect for all of the board, what the federal share is going to be, as well as what the district's cost will
In your board package, for a later item, should actually asking your permission to award a contract, the base bid, the low bid was $6.7 million and change. 95% of that would be through AIP funding. So about 5% of that would be locally funded. The phase 2, this says alternate A, I'm assuming that's phase 2, right, Charlie?
Yes, yeah.
It's an additional 4.9 million, just slightly less than that. And phase 3 would be another 4.8 million, all 95% funded by the FAA.
we remain hopeful for phase two. With phase three, I think is a fleeting, dream at this point, honestly.
And those numbers are in your board pack. Want to see?
Okay. Then this image is more of just the overall capital program. The 4 projects under ACIP between now and 2030. The tax-rate rehab, as you see, the one we just talked about. Excellent rehab is also what we talked about. That's red and blue 1 and 2. We are continuing to be hopeful for further tax-rate rehabilitation, what we're calling phase 2, which would be from the tower continuing to the northwest. In 27, there would be a design contract followed by a construction contract in 2030. And I think Michael's got those numbers.
Yes, and that was a part of the budget presentation that we did at the last board meeting. But yes, the buckets that they're budgeted in have already been approved. They're baked into the budget. But you know, we won't know the exact amount until the grant's awarded.
And that's it. Any questions from the board?
John, I have a favor to ask. When you start the project, would you mind inviting me out again so I can see it?
Oh, absolutely.
It's hugely beneficial to see the project while it's in process.
Which one of those do you want to see, or do you want to see both?
Yeah, everything as a, well, depending upon the funding,
Okay.
I'll let you know then. But,
And that is an open invitation to any board members. Marvin, if you want to come out and see some airfield construction, Michael, absolutely.
But phase one is, you're saying is, assured, we're gonna be able to get to phase one.
Yes, on the taxiway improvement project.
What do you think the timing was?
So we all, the only thing we really know, Mr. Brown, is the end of the fiscal year is September 30th. That's all we know. And then these are supposed to be 26 grants. So we have confidence that these 2 grants will be issued maybe the second or third week of August or the first or second week of September. They gotta hustle up, get all the paperwork done by the end of September. So then we would go into October then at that point, we sign contracts with our contractors, we go through the bonding and the submittal process. Both of those projects are somewhat weather dependent. So we might collectively decide, hey, we think we can kick this off, let's get in here, let's get this done. Or we might decide to do a pause. We all know that none of this is gonna happen before the air show. So that's about it.
How do we manage the work or the phases? Obviously, you guys are gonna have a conversation with the tenants.
Yeah.
But how do we manage, like, you know, if they need to get their plane out, it's 30 days and they're locking this place up, your area, what do we do about that?
Honestly, you don't have anything locked up for 30 days, right? Really?
Marvin is hitting a good point, and that is that some of these work areas in and around the hangar complex are 30-day phases. So there would be a schedule presented, there would be opportunity for tenants to relocate their planes to either the common apron or some other place. And they can access their planes for that period of time and then come back in when that particular phase is complete. And then there'll be time between that phase and starting the next phase so that there's no challenge.
We know we have to communicate to the tenants and we'll do our best to provide them alternatives.
Okay.
But we're gonna be in their way. We're gonna be in their
I
way.
get it, right? It's gotta be done. I was just curious if you guys had a plan, you know, that way you're prepared.
I think people appreciate, even if you're gonna inconvenience someone, they appreciate knowing they're gonna be inconvenienced up front.
Cool.
We usually say it gets worse before it gets better.
Then it's over.
And then it's over.
Yeah, and then it's, yeah.
And many tenants have been asking for these updates,
So
so
much needs.
so we're fulfilling the needs of the tenants.
Is there any possibility of more sinkholes?
More sinkhole.
Yeah, I've heard things,
That's a God question.
it was.
I was gonna take my magic 8-ball and shake it.
I figured you guys are construction people, you're an engineer, so you know.
You know, the one that's really fascinating me is the one that's in LaGuardia. Have you been watching that one?
No.
Sinkhole showed up, they had to close the main runway, and then they They showed an aerial of all these guys sitting around scratching their hair, and then they fixed it, opened the runway, and about a week later, it showed up again someplace else.
Water lines?
There is, are you referring to the, not Taxiway Charlie? Taxiway Charlie was, because there was a drain line with a hole sucking out the sub base. We had a recent repair on the ramp.
I think that's the one.
Yeah, that was an old storage tank left over by the Army Air Corps
Okay.
that was found and it slowly
Broke
settled out.
Or, yeah,
I think we suspect there's another one because we're in scaling,
right.
but part of this is to fix what we know.
Okay, I was wondering if you guys have any tools to do radar detection, see what's underneath, make sure it's solid before we go to invest this money.
We don't have ground penetrating radar. If you were to look at the old plans, as Martin just mentioned, that old fuel facility, those old fuel tanks, was on the plan. And they were properly abandoned at the time, which was 30 years ago. The tanks were cut open and they were filled in. But evidently not to a level or to a standard that it should have been. So they revealed themselves in the last few months to the surface.
I mean, we have a map of tanks.
Yeah.
If whether or not they're there, we should sort of double check and make sure there's not any more out there that we think seize on this opportunity.
Right, just don't wanna, I hate wasting money, and if we can have an opportunity to, have some kind of sensors, radar, look at the floor and just make sure it's,
You might be able to get a pin in those blocks.
Yeah.
I don't think it's in the budget.
Just give my comments. You guys do as you please. That's all I said. That's all.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Okay, moving right along. Number 9, notice of vacancy for governing board.
If I may, President Brown, I would also include resolution, so we should take public comment and then the board can vote on the resolution. If you look at item 8, it has a resolution number 973 also for
okay, all
approval.
right, I
So we
missed
need
that.
to take public comment and then the board can consider the resolution.
Okay,
There's only paper.
you want me to read the resolution?
You can take public comment first on the agenda item. So that would be, the agenda item is the presentation and resolution 973.
Do we have anybody who wants to speak on this?
I just had a question, if you don't mind, with
Do you want to bring comments?
It's maybe you're supposed to say that over there for public comments. I know that for last meeting, and then you have to say you're closing.
Okay, I'm opening up for public comment.
There you go.
Okay. Are you public comment? Go ahead.
I guess I'm public comment. I know I can't ask questions, but my statement is, it seems with the phasing, we're attacking the least busy part of the taxiway. More kind of by planes of fame and the pirate tanker, I know it's important, but the busiest part of the airport seems to be, I guess, potentially phase 3, where general aviation is, and with 2 commercial flights coming in weekly. I was just kind of concerned with the phasing strategy on that project. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
John, if you want to comment.
I want to make sure I understand the question. The question is, why are we doing where we're doing and not someplace else?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
No, it's a comment. It's a great comment.
Well, it's a great comment, yeah. So the, on airfields is, you know, the heaviest impact to pavement is as the taxing for takeoff. And in this airport, the predominant runway is 3-0 for takeoff and for landing. So we have, we've got some documented failures on Alpha down at that end. We actually had I've got a lovely photo of it. I have a steel straight edge and I have ruts in Alpha where a soccer ball fits underneath the straight edge. So we know we've got problems there. We're consistent. We're trying to continue that pattern to the northwest to address areas of significant impact. It's more about really where you're most effectively spending your money. We will get to the northwest. You get to the northwest, the planes tend to be lighter. They're empty, or their fuel is empty, or they're the guys in the hangar complexes. Or every once in a while, there's Tony sent the big one down the taxiway. Or somebody does, yeah.
I hope I answered your question. Thank you.
Plus, we're also locked into this with funding, so I would not recommend changing our phasing plan at this point.
Okay,
I just have one comment. The taxi lane project has been long overdue. It's a wonderful thing that it's finally getting done. My only concern, as I've talked to John earlier about it, is that we do have active airplanes that cannot sit outside for a month. So since we have as many empty hangars as we have now, I would like to suggest to management and the board to allow the active airplanes that cannot sit outside, or as in the past, we were offered space out at Jet Center, but I know they're very busy right now, to allow us to move temporarily into one of the 15 or 16 empty hangars that are not in that phase. And that would help disperse some of the problems that may arise from people who are gonna feel displaced over this and not being able to get to their hangars.
We're already on that.
they're already on it.
That sounds like.
It was one of the resolutions we were having, which we barely figured out, so.
That sounds like a good thing.
Any other comments? Okay, we'll close for public comment. And we'll open one to vote on the resolution. Do I need to read it? All in favor?
You can waive
Wait to read it?
The title. in the motion.
For motion.
I'll make that motion that we accept our technical engineering.
Okay,
I mean, this is a great thing,
It'll be the-
and I believe it's adopted.
it'll be-
I can suggest a motion if that would be helpful.
Resolution
Yeah.
9-7.
Chelsea, could you show us the first one? Could you?
Yeah, so it would be a motion to adopt resolution number 973 to approve and adopt the airport improvement program, AIP projects as presented to the board, and to waive full reading, or by title only, excuse me, and waive full reading of
And
the.
that's my motion.
I second.
Okay, first and second, is this a roll call?
Yes, all resolutions are roll call.
President Brown,
Yes.
Director Guy,
Yes.
Director Clayton,
Yes.
Director Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay, that carries. Okay, moving on, we've got the consent calendar. The following items are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member or members of the public request that an item be removed for separate consideration and action.
Yeah, number 9.
We'll back it up. Someone hit the delete button.
Rewind, okay. Notice of vacancy to the governing board and options for filling vacancy.
Yeah, so this is mainly just a discussion for the board's thoughts or I guess comments. So we have our vacant board position for the Division 1 that was filled by Chuck Adams. We posted the notice of vacancy back in June, I believe, and so we did an extension because we didn't have any applicants to be appointed for the remainder of the year. And so there's two parts to that. So if we have an open period, which I believe is the last meeting is in July. So July 23rd would be the last meeting that we could appoint somebody for the remainder of this year. So up until December. Now, it doesn't mean that he or she will fill the entire other 2 years, because he still have another 2 years remaining on his term. What would happen is it would go to the elections office, and they would have to put somebody on the ballot for that district, and that person would then fill out the rest of the term. So just something to be aware about.
Now, if that happened, would the election have enough on this coming ballot?
Correct, and we had notified.
That's why the date, the cutoff date?
Correct, yes, that's exactly one. And we had notified the elections office as soon as the vacancy. So,
If I may add to that,
Yeah.
at the last board meeting, the board adopted the resolutions to request consolidation of the district's elections with the county election, and that resolution included the District 1 seat. So the District 1 seat for the remainder of the term after this coming November election, when those candidates take office, that would be filled by the elected person versus the appointed person. What we're talking about for appointment is really just the
Just a
interim
short
time.
Okay. No, that's how I came on to the,
Yeah,
the same type of thing. But I was almost 2 years time of my October election.
Now, the appointed person could certainly file nomination papers and seek to be elected for the remainder of the term. They're not like excluded from doing that just by being nominated.
Okay. Yeah, and the main thing is that you gotta live within that district, right? There's no exception.
correct. And we have the district map on the website now, as of this week. And it has a neat little map function where you can type in your address and it'll show you what division you're in.
Okay. All right. Now, back to item 10. Consent calendar, the following items are considered routine will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussions of these items unless a board member or member of the public requests that an item be removed or separated consideration of action. Okay, and we have 4 items listed. I'm looking for a motion.
You don't have to read the 4 items.
What's that?
You don't have to read the 4 items.
Doesn't
have to. Okay.
I would just note that there is a resolution in item C, so we should do a roll call vote for the consent calendar.
Okay.
Just so I get the verbiage right, I move that we accept the consent calendar as presented on item 10.
Second? No.
First and second,
All in favor?
I'll let it.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now we need to go back to the resolution.
No, just leave
Yeah.
the whole consent item as full.
Yeah, you could just do the whole vote on the
Do the whole
consent.
thing, go home.
Yeah, so you have a motion and a second, you
Okay.
could just have everyone say their vote now at roll call.
President Brown,
Yes.
Director Guy,
Yes.
Director Clayton,
Yes.
Director Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay, and at this point, we're going to close session where we have one item to discuss. Okay, we're going to have a closed session with no reportable actions, and we'll go into director comments. We start with.
Nothing really much, everything looks good, you know, glad that seeing more of the tenants out here, people out here, so nice to see the community.
Go. Let's go to Director Guy.
Okay, on Tuesday, so 2 days ago this week, I was appointed planning commissioner for Santa Barbara County District Area 4 under Bob Nelson. I've addressed this with both general counsel for the airport and general counsel with the city or with the Santa Barbara County. There's no conflict of interest, but Santa Barbara County General Counsel is going to help me draft something that I will read at the county planning commission meetings, and I will also bring it in here at the moment that I'm doing both jobs in parallel with each other. So there's no conflict of interest, but I will have a legal statement to state during at least one of the meetings. Other than that, I have nothing else to report.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, really excited, the fact that we're building this airport, the capital improvements are gonna be over the top. 6.7 million is gonna be in the queue the first go around. And then there's a lot more going on behind that, so we're building, we're improving, we're moving forward, so we're heading in the right direction.
Okay. I want to say for the record, for Mike Brown, I was out of town, and I otherwise I would have been. I'm pretty well attending all of the functions on the regular field wall. And I heard everybody has raved about it.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, congratulations to Tony. I think it's a good thing. I think it's gonna give a communication between us and the county, not a conflict, but a communication, which is a different thing, so. All right, I think we're heading in the right direction, doing lots of good things, and I just, hope it continues. Thank you guys all for coming. And I'll take a motion to go home.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Righty.